नमो भगवते श्री अरुणाचल रमनाय ओम। ओम नमस्ते एवरीवन। नमस्कार। Hi Raj, I saw your message, but then I was busy today. Do you want to ask anything in this platform?
Hello Sanjay, namaste everybody.
Namaste.
Yes, I thank you Sanjay for replying me. I'm happy to be back in Satsang after so long. Yes, I do want to ask something. And I don't know whether I'll do my best. To put out making it up. So
just unmute yourself.
Yes. I said, of course, my biggest attraction now is this path of satsang, of meditation. I enjoy, and like the biggest thing I want to do is now get up at Brahmurat and sit quiet and listen to meditation and do these things. And but sometimes, like when I was traveling with my family, and when I'm with the children or with my missus, sometimes some things happen, and then I go into this mode of feeling a victim, feeling anger, nobody is understanding me, and then so I keep observing sometimes this, and then sometimes this, it takes me a lot of time to come out of it. Like my son could say something, or he's a small 12, 14-year-old guy, but he'll scream sometime and I'll get offended, and I notice I become this different kind of beingness comes up. And even at work, I will see this, when people some result or something, it will kind of, and then I notice sometimes I will smoke weed. I will smoke sometimes to relax and something, very rarely, but when I do, then a lot of compassion is coming for these people. Then suddenly I am connected. I am like this whole new person, and I love that person that comes. Because then I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not checking on people in my team, how they are doing. I'm just objectifying them. Oh my God, this guy actually is working so hard, and all this. Then I want to listen to music. Then I want to listen to play music. Then I want to enter my son's room, sit and chat with him, not just go and do my satsang or do my own thing. And then this last week, I don't know why I thought, is this depression? Is this a depression that I am not enjoying things that I used to, like listening to music or calling people or meeting people? And then I was asking this, I did some online, then they said, do this. And you are a professional, you might know some SQ9, some form, and that said it is mild depression or something. But then I'm not now inside of all this. And then I did recently one meditation of yours that says, go behind even the one who is interested, keenly observing this. And yet there is no problem. There is nothing. But as lived on a day-to-day, I'm either here, and most part I'm not even here in this person who is having this. So I'm kind of lost to find, am I depressed? No. Why am I not enjoying the things I used to? Why I want to only be by myself alone? Why I don't enjoy pleasurable activities? And this instability or merry-go-round is going on in the front of this. But when I get time, when I have my own, when work is done, when everything is done, all I want to do is listen to meditation. And I am working. I am doing my work. I am giving a lot of time. I'm doing new things. But somehow, like even when I want to go to Mahakumbh and then to come to retreat, my wife is telling me, listen, if this is the path you're going to go on, then let me know if I should start looking for a job, because you're going to be donated to this thing. So too many things there, but I guess you may have some picture of where I'm coming from. or I can further elaborate.
Look, all the Shastras, all the scriptures, including Bhagavan, says very, very clearly, very, very openly, and warning to everyone that if you think and you keep this body identification intact, you are not moving even an inch. Because they say that if you want to cross this ocean of samsara, keeping this body as me, it is like you are crossing the river sitting on a crocodile. I need to ask you only one question. I have no problem in you as a body, identifying with family, with work, how people treat you, what happens. I am okay with that. But do you also see yourself as the pet in your house, the servant in your house, the person, stranger in a train, and everything around you as you? Do you feel the same compassion or attachment to everything around you as you? Or do you still see yourself as separate from others? As long as you keep feeling yourself as you, this body, you own all thoughts, you own all suffering, and there is no liberation from it. All this spasmodic pleasure and joy everyone gets in this world. Leave aside you. After alcohol, after weed, after drug, after achieving, after having a chocolate, after having a coffee, after watching the movie which you really want to do, everyone feels a joy. It's not that there is only suffering in this materialistic world. We all enjoy. It is not even about enjoyment. It is not about staying in a bliss. It is knowing the truth. I have to say, a lot of people come on this journey thinking that because they are depressed, becoming spiritual, they will be in supreme bliss, ananda. You know, Bhagavan once mimicked this when Annamalai Swami was standing and someone asked that after drugs, how these people, after taking ganja, how these people, Bhagavan says Ananda, Ananda, and he hugged Annamalai and it changed Annamalai's life. He got the real bliss after that. He left, he went to Palakottu and he did his own sadhana and he got liberated. Always when these thoughts, attachments, emotions comes, whether they come spontaneously or they come as a reaction to someone has said something to you or the situation has changed, your task is to know that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not emotions and sensations. Yes, because of conditioning, you will feel bad. You will not like whatever someone has said to you. But watch all these emotions coming, watch all the mood change, and know that you are none of these. This is the time when you have to be really, really alert. And in that alertness, you can slip because you can say, look, Sanjay, I am alert, but I am feeling bad, I am feeling down, I am low. And the moment you say or you admit that you are feeling low, then the mind has already is the winner against you. It will now tell you, bloody Raj, you used to enjoy this Bollywood music. Where are you nowadays? Listen to this music, beautiful. Have something to smoke, or do this thing, or go out. You are depressed. This is all the mind works. I completely agree. If you look into the depression scales, the one who is a seeker actually on that scale appears to be severely depressed, because no interest in anything. This is one of the things of depression. Introvert, not involved in any type of thing, not gaining any pleasure from any external resources. This is a sign of depression. This is the definition of depression. So try to understand, we have to not get entangled in these things. These are worldly things for worldly people, these depression scales, not for a seeker. Seeker is just jumping out of the whole scene, what you see. He's taking a backstage. There are no scales made for him, that for seeker. But yes, books tells what the qualities of a seeker are. I think I should make a scale and post it to everyone. I'm thinking of that, because in that scale, mumukshutva, interest, longing to know him, to know that, and dispassion for everything around us. And then other shad darshan, all those things. We can make our own scale, it is already being said in all these things. Believe on that, because the thing is that all our life we have been conditioned in a way. And the moment something strong pulls us, we start doubting our own sadhana, our path, our understanding of it. And it looks like it was all fake. We just slip into it. That is, we say that Maya is very thagni. Maya is always there, because what is Maya? This body is Maya. This mind is Maya. Intellect is Maya. Ego is Maya. Word is Maya. Everything is Maya. Then who am I? So this question of who am I should always be very constantly in you, and identifying with the one which nobody can see. Your wife cannot see, your kids cannot see, your mind cannot see. Only you can see and you can be. Understand this truth. So this whole journey of self-realization is very much personal. And you don't have to make others understand. Like you said, I get frustrated because of family and the people don't understand me. They don't understand, it's okay, but you should be able to understand. When you get trapped into mind, that means you are also not understanding yourself. Because you are so powerful. You are the source of your mind also. But we become so little because the mind plays tricks on us, because we have done mind slavery for so long that we have lost our own real identity, and we get lost. And that is why I would say these satsangs are very, very important. When I say satsang, I'm not saying the group which we all are there. It can be any satsang in which people are contemplating only on truth. And when this group satsang is not there, then always you can have your own satsang. That self never leaves you. It is always there with you. The situation can change. It is changing, always changing. Sometimes your mind can say, I like it. Sometimes it can dislike it. But you should question, who is this mind whom I have to satisfy? Why? Why the worldly situation should be according to your mind? Why it is necessary? And who gets bored or who gets depressed? Question this all the time, and this questioning will open up your heart and will make your mind merge in it. Because mind shows tantrums. If you fulfill its tantrums, that means you will go for a movie, you will go to this place, you will satisfy your wife, your kids, new clothes, this, that, and then mind, oh look, now you're feeling good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So mind creates thoughts, mind will say
at that moment, to do. And somehow I I also witnessed that, yeah, this is also grace that, they are coming to test. And at the same time, my wife will throw the tantrum. At the same time, out of the blue, my brother will message me on Instagram, what is this spirituality, fantasism you are doing? Leave it alone. You are wasting your time. This is not real. It is just a fantasy. It is escapism. And I'm asking myself suddenly, I'm doing my job. I'm taking care of everyone. Am I escaping? But what am I escaping from? Because, and then you're right, it gets trapped and suddenly it goes out of hand again.
Look, there can be, you only deal with your wife and kids. I deal with thousands of people. You will not believe. And don't say that people only want advice. Sometimes some only want to give advice. Some will say that you should run satsang like this, Sanjay. You should do like that. They send message to me or others. I am not doing anything. I have no plan, no agenda that we have to finish this task or these are the steps. Nothing. Today I had a call from somewhere, and that person said Ramana Maharshi has told him to tell me that these satsangs should be changed, the style should be changed. And I said, so what should I do? He said, these satsangs, there are people in it. There should be no people, only one-to-one. And I said, how? He said, if there are 50 people, you should talk one-to-one with each in a separate. How many? I don't have 50 hours, And then I said, it's an open thing. Anyone can say it. There's nothing personal about in a satsang. This is the same one energy, one self in different forms. No shame. If you are feeling shame in opening up in satsang, then you have to work out more. Be that mature enough to be in a satsang. He said, no, I am just telling you, Ramana Maharshi came to me in front of me and told me to tell you, Sanjay, that, these satsangs should be changed. The format needs to be changed. It should be one-to-one. What would I say? I said, okay, thank you. If Ramana Maharshi would have been told this thing, he would have said, when Ramana Maharshi will come in my dream or in front of me, then I will accept. That's the way he used to say to people. Because people used to come to him that, I had a dream and you have to be, in this mutt, you have to be the sadhu of this mutt and we will do all the initiation. He said, but I didn't have that dream. So I'm not going. You will not believe what people can say. I'm not saying this to criticize anyone, but I'm just telling you that you have to deal with a family. I have to deal with a bigger family. All sorts of things, lot of advice. I am not saying their intentions are good or bad. I don't know, but you have to listen to every type of thing. The only thing is that when we stop listening to our own thoughts, then you are capable of listening to any Dick and Harry. Doesn't matter. Because then nothing sticks to you. Because when the mind talks to you, it talks to you according to what it thinks are liking and disliking of the mind. And it does not talk to you. Understand this truth. It talks to itself. Mind has created a form which is called ego, which thinks I am this body. And then it talks to itself. What a madness, sheer madness. And then this poor awareness, it just watches. I feel the God is so innocent, so pure, so lovely. It allows you to do all the wrong things. It allows you to do. It stays quiet. It just watches you. How smart you act and you do things. Though it is providing you all the energy and it is providing you all the resources. And then what we do is we take credit of what we do. And then when we can't do things, then we blame, oh, my luck is not good, the God is not helping me, and creating our own mind and then doing things. And this whole game, if you have to understand, the only way is to be a ardent observer of all happenings inside your mind, and then you can detach. Don't be accomplished to it. Watch it, and it is a very, very, I would say, it's a tapas, forbearance. You have to be kshatriya in that sense, like a soldier, to hold on to it, whatever comes and goes. You have to have that resolve in you, whatever comes and goes, I will not move from myself. I will stay in my stillness, whatever comes and goes. And if you resolve that, then the mind will show tantrums, but one day it will finish itself. There is no stock left, because mind only talks to itself, and when then itself is not there, mind doesn't talk to awareness. Know this truth. Mind cannot molest awareness. Mind bows down in front of awareness. It dissolves. It is empty. Because this light, this pure energy is so strong that mind cannot be alive in it. Be that light. Be that spark of light in your heart. Be with that. It is just a matter of spending time in this sadhana for some time, so your old tendencies die away. But the moment we give up, it is like, I decided not to have alcohol again, and I was an alcoholic. The moment I have a couple of drinks, saying that today I will have it, I get again into that habit. So it is like that. We have to have some spine. We have to be there. And that these doubts comes because our sadhana is not that strong. That's why the doubt comes. Otherwise, doubt cannot come. Sometime, Neelakantan is not here, but the other time, initial, when we started, he said, used to show, he always keeps who am I with him, always next to him in his pocket. These techniques actually work, there is something always you can look back, that this is what I have to be. This is what Ramana has said. And the benefit with Ramana is, if you are a devotee, then Arunachala mountain, even a thought of it will liberate. So at least you have some solace. So you come with fresh energy and keep practicing self-inquiry. All the techniques you see to know the self-inquiry is the most direct, because it challenges the one who is doing sadhana. That is the first step. And also that is the last step. When there is no object in self-inquiry. If you see all meditation techniques, there is a subject and an object. So the subject is ego, and then there is an object which it is practicing. Whether that object is Ishta Devata, or that object is true self, or that object is your breathing, there is some technique in it. Here we question this fake subject. And when the fake subject is being questioned and cannot be found, then what is real is there. Practice, 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 nothing else. And practice is not during satsang. Satsang is a booster and reminder to be in that pure energy always. You don't think your energy gets spoiled if someone criticizes you. No. Criticism, insult, showing you down, it does not even reach awareness. It is nothing. These words don't reach awareness at all. They don't touch you. You become like a lotus. Nothing sticks to you. But to be that lotus, you have to be in that energy all the time. And as you said rightly, that all what comes is to test us in a way. But if we get affected, that means there is still something in us to which it attaches.
Yeah. I get affected a lot, and sometimes I tell you it's days, and then I have this disrespect and all these unreal, invisible tendencies coming. My son is also being disrespectful. Wife is also not appreciative, and all that. And then it keeps going. Then I'm out of. And even I try meditate sometime, but nothing is. Sometimes it's so strong, nothing is going through.
That is what I'm saying. There is no meditation in this technique also. And I have to say this thing. Ask yourself, who wants appreciation?
It is mind. It's all ego.
So leave it. It's better to have this mind should be insulted. Bloody, he's still there, so it should be insulted. It deserves insult because it has to go. It is not going, so let it be insulted. Badly, madly, let it be insulted. You also have a laugh on it, Yeah. But in that, always pay alert awareness to awareness. This is so subtle, so subtle. This is subtle than ether, subtle than air. It can't be palpable by mind. You can only know that. Because it never gets distorted. Nothing happens to it. And this, what is indescribable, is nothing but you only. I'll tell you, it is like right now, when we have the I am the body idea, touching the body, we feel I am being touched. If someone touches you, you feel someone has touched you. This, what you are, is not the body, not the sensations, not the mind. And there's no locus to it. It is not that it stops here or it stops there. People describe subtle bodies. They say, look, this is the subtle body, is this much aura, that much aura. That is all in domain of body only. What we are is, we can only know. We can't show anyone. Others can only know maybe if that knowledge of that silence comes through your behavior or your talks or your presence, that energy flows. Because you can't stop, nobody can stop that energy from not flowing. Sometimes I have to say that even the talks, people might not be able to know, or by your actions, because we know some realized beings, they act like mad people. So even that is not a criteria. The only thing criteria, I believe, is that the one who was operating within the body is no more. There is no person, no doer. So when people humbly, and I would say maybe in the best intention, call me or text me or email me that make a structure like this of the program, or change it, or don't do this, or don't do that, they think I'm doing it in a way I even don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody in this group has any plans. And this is the beauty of this energy. Whatever it brings, it will bring the best when nobody has any intention of any kind. Because that pure energy is equal in all of us. It is not more in one, less in other. Even when we don't know about it, It is exactly the same. We might die without knowing it, but that jewel is there and it stays the same in all of us. But if you pay attention, you will know it. That's all. But when you know it, then you forget what you think you are now. This is a big difference. It is end to this separate entity which is suffering in a way. A lot of people will say, no, it's not always suffering, and I agree. A lot of time this ego also gives you, pleasure and some sort of happiness. And a lot of people love it because they say they are self-made man. So ego has pride in itself. It's fine, whatever. But for a seeker who wants to know the truth, it is just madness. Not everyone is interested in knowing the truth. A lot of people will say, why are you wasting, you're living a good life, earn more money, earn with honesty, help people, give money to the poor,
I mean, both is madness, but I think this madness is so attractive that madness looks like a sheer madness to us. But it is unconventional for people who are on the other side. And of course, they're using mind, they are observing. So there'll be judgment, there'll be opinion, there'll be
Let it
this.
be. Let it be.
Nothing can do for it. But I mean, also at the heart of heart, if I can say something for myself, is I didn't choose this path.
Nobody, yeah, very true, very true. I have to say this, yeah.
I did not strategically decide, no, this will not, so
Nobody
I'll
did
do
this.
this one. You know,
Look, I completely agree. I never thought. I loved everything which every worldly person loves, and in the worldly manners, I was successful. You can say I'm successful, whatever, good profession. I'm so lucky, and with my profession and family and people, and no mishappenings or tragedy in family or even around me. And there's nothing like people say something has gone wrong, then you go into spiritual. No, it is just inner call. It just changed completely. To an extent that when I meet people whom I'm meeting after 20 plus, 25 plus years, they think, what has happened to you? Something is completely wrong. It is completely wrong or completely right. I agree with them. Something has changed, but not in my hand, not in anyone's hand. Even now, right now, people can watch telly, they can do so many things in this world for entertainment of ego. And I am a biggest party spoiler in all people around me, because we do satsangs at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. and wake up early morning and have no interest, and then party starts at 10 p.m. And I sleep at 10 p.m. So it actually gives suffering to a lot of people around us, in a way. I agree. A lot of people will feel that this is not the way to live. A lot of people advise me that have a balanced life, enjoy, and then go to temple once or twice a week and do meditation for 1 hour. I don't know. Everyone has a concept about life, and that's why they're living that life, But look, who choose to get married, who choose to have kids? Now, our own creation. So whether suffer or enjoy, whatever it is, you have to sort it out. You can't run away, and you should not run away, because run away and then you will get some more problems after running away. And where to run away? Run away from mind. Run away from mind and come here to your heart. Run away, come here. It is, I'll tell you, it is not easy. People think, oh, you see in movies, you see some fake babas, always surrounded with beautiful people, multimillionaires, car, jet. All this is just business, nothing. It's nothing to do with that pure spirituality. All the pure spiritual people, they got thrashes from their wife and people and all, You see the life of Bhagwan, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, so many other saints and sages. See what happened in their life. Life was not easy. Life was never easy. See the life of Ram. See the life of Krishna. Have you had that much of suffering as Ram? Nothing. So just enjoy your suffering also. It is part and parcel of your realization. Enjoy it. Enjoy without any complaint. That is what. If I have surrendered, then how can I complain? Bhagwan gives only two methods, and I would say Bhagwan doesn't give two methods. This is one method, both are part of it. Surrender and inquiry, both together. Gyan Marg and Bhakti Marg, both together. Devotion, surrender to whom? Surrender to that self. And whenever this ugly ego tries to do something, just watch it and question that, do I have to be with that, or do I have to be just a witness? And then choose what you really are. So that is your self-inquiry, contemplation going on all the time. And not complaining. So that is surrender. In your this waking dream, whatever is around you, you have gathered. You married, you had kids, you have a business, you have a job. We have created. Now suddenly you are disappearing, and then this whole creation is saying, where are you going? So you are answerable also. At least when they are unhappy, you have to accept it. There's nothing wrong in this world. And the people and what they think about us, they think exactly right. Because they are losing their way of life because of one person drifting away from it. It's a valid complaint. Just accept it and stay in your awareness as awareness. But don't give an excuse to slip. Then you are like dhobi ka kutta.
Yeah, that's my experience now.
Washerman's dog.
Yes.
Na ghar ka na ghat ka.
Yeah.
You are not for home, not for ghat. So we have to take our point, but nothing to say, nothing to show a rudeness of any kind that, look, I have taken this stance and I don't care. And this all talk is only of ego. Only ego talks like that. Not a seeker. Seeker will accept whatever it is. And then you will realize, but give time, how much suffering you will get, maybe 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, I don't know. Nisargadatta Maharaj used to say in her satsangs that my wife was very angry wife and aggressive wife. And people used to say, he was so aggressive. How can he say his wife was more aggressive than him? But I'm telling you the truth, this is the life. Life has to be that, We all have to go through it. So nothing to worry, just stay in your own awareness. Don't move from it. It is so difficult to even understand this philosophy, this teaching, and then being on path. It is all grace. If we all have come up to this, then why to slip out of it now? Then in next birth, I don't know, we can become a tree or a dog. Maybe we will not be able to understand. Or even if, let's say, we become a human being and we don't find a teacher or a teaching, and then everything lost. Why don't we finish off it in this birth? We have come so close, almost there. We are in this waiting line to enter. Don't leave this waiting. Just stay. Have patience. Bhagavan says, once you have accepted, then you are in tiger's mouth. You will be finished, devoured. Self will finish off this. It is finishing off this ego. And it is sending our relatives, friends, family, all people around us to eat this ego. They are also they're doing external, and self is doing from internal. They're all helping us. Because in some nook and corner, if the ego is left, it needs to be finished. Otherwise, where is mukti? Where is liberation? And it is all pure grace. Pure grace. And no middleman needed. The Guru is in all of us. That inner Guru is we only. We are the Guru and we are the lost person. We are both. The one who is lost in reflection has to come back home. That's all it is all about. And we all have now realized we are all at that stage where we clearly know where the problem lies. Just don't give energy to that problem. That's all. Energy is our interest. Energy is being fooled again by that. And it is a process. It sometimes takes time. It can take even years. It can take lifetime. But stick to the path. And I'll tell you, Raj, you have all the support but don't give up. Stay there. It is so beautiful. You already have interest in it, so stay there. It is so beautiful.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you. And I'll tell you, interest in this, keep remembering it all the time. When you remember, when there's no issue, when the problem comes, then your remembrance, somehow something in you will make you remember it. I have shared, a lot of people have shared different things with me. I'm not sure if anyone wants to share, but there are so many ways by which we know that we are not getting drowned in egoistic energy. Some vibration comes in the body, or some japa comes in mind, or something happens, some sensation, something happens to which is unique to that person, which makes us remind to detach immediately.
I think Thomas wants to say something.
Yeah. Okay, I'll unmute him, and you can mute yourself.
Hi, Sanjay. Hello,
Thomas. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm very well. Thank you. So it's such a beautiful way to start the day. So last time we were talking about the power of veiling and unveiling, and right now this conversation with Raj. So I had an experience. It was very interesting. I was doing metta, like loving kindness, and sharing it with all the people in the world. And then something really strange happened. It was like I had a balloon around me and someone just popped it. And I just realized like nothing was real, like nothing existed. And it was a little bit scary. It was like creepy because I was like, what is this? Nothing's real. Nothing's real. And I knew it deeper than I knew everything was there. I just knew it so much. And I was baffled. I just didn't have words because I knew that my family wasn't real, that my story wasn't real, that everything just wasn't real. And I struggled and I didn't know how to like come to terms with it. And then little by little, like this path started to appear in front of me with Bhagavan. And having come from a very like scientific background where it's like everything is external and the Big Bang comes from outside, then comes us. All of these concepts of like, I am the light, and then the mind refracts outside and stuff started to come through. But I struggled a lot because I didn't know how to like incorporate into the real world. And eventually it just feels like I'm like an undercover agent and I have to like act. And because people expect you to be a certain way and it's like, okay, well right now I'm going to act this part. And then when I'm like able to be with all of you and, in satsang, I'm able to be kind of like my real self. It's just, I don't like to talk. I like to be quiet. I like to listen to the sages, and that's basically what I love to do. It's basically nothing much. Hang out with my dog because she doesn't talk back. That's about it. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you.
So Thomas, the thing, yeah, look, it's a very good, realization, and you don't have to adjust it into what you said, real word. Now it is not real word. It is a fake word. You don't have to adjust to anything, and you don't have to tell anyone anything. You have to just know. If we are dreaming, then we have to be out of dream. We can't say the people in our dream have to be out of dream. Then only we will be out of dream. And then when you are out of dream, when you are having a lucid dream in which it is a dream, then you don't have to say anything to anyone. Who is there to whom you have to say? You can only say to the one who is already awake, then there's no need to say. The only person you can say is who is interested in awakening. That's all. But otherwise, there's no need. No need at all. Actually, here comes sometimes attachment, egoistic attachment to family, to members. Sometimes some people, tell that, how can I help my wife? How can I help my son? The moment you speak like this, it shows that you still have a lot of bodily attachments as a family member, Otherwise, why you're not saying, how can my next door neighbor or the person who lives in Lebanon can get enlightenment, You only talk about your family. So I can see Shri right now, and I think Shri also used to get some hints in his sensory sensations in his ear or something, which used to, so maybe he can share. I'm just sharing because a lot of people have a lot of different types of things happens when they are getting into trap. So maybe he can say something about it. Shri, you can unmute yourself.
Hi. Evening, everyone. I was actually in the car listening to the conversation. I just arrived home. That's why you're seeing my face now. Nice to see you all. I might have missed some parts of the discussion because I was driving and my headphones were a bit soft. But as per your question, Sanjay, so I don't know in what context I'm bringing in. I'll just tell you, I'll just answer the question you asked. Some of you know me, most of you probably don't know me. But 30 years ago, I've had my own self awareness or opening. I didn't ask for it, like Raj was saying. It completely blew my mind. But in that first year, particularly, it was 9 months. Why I say 9 months is when I look back in time, it started when my fourth child, who's a son, was conceived. And by the time he was delivered, I was a changed person. Does that make sense? So that's the time frame I have. And it came on its own. When I say it came, this awareness or this experience or journey. And in that 9 months, my understanding increased easily 20-fold of things I read, anything from maths to scriptures to philosophy and things like that. So I think I went through 9 months of, blowing my mind, and it was as though a jigsaw puzzle where all the little pieces were falling in place. At the end of the journey, I could read, when I read the Bhagavad Gita, maybe the Upanishads, not in Sanskrit, in English, I could understand more than just the words. I could see the hidden meanings between the lines. And I also read on physics, quantum physics, and I saw parallels between Hinduism and quantum physics, and I used that to gain an insight into this while on this journey. But cutting the journey short, at the tail end of it, I started hearing sound, an E sound. I don't know how many of you all relate to that. And it was in my right ear. At first, I thought it was a bee that is floating around in my car or something, and I'll get the sounds off and on. And then it synchronizes whenever I hear and I used to recite a mantra, and when I recite that volume of that sound increases. So it became a homing device or guide for me that I was onto something. And when I hear prayers or bhajans, I speak Tamil, so when I hear even Hindi songs, if it is to Shiva or God or devotion, the sound will just go through the roof. It's not like people next to me can't hear it, but in my head, but it doesn't give me a headache. It's a very beautiful increase in volume. And that, I'm talking to you now, the sound has gone higher in my head, in my ear, okay? And that sound went on, and there came a time, and when I say in that year or 9 months, I was sitting, this was in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, I was sitting outside my house, sitting on the swing, having my coffee, looking at the sunrise, and the whole world sort of melted into a glass bubble. It's like it was just little vibrations of frequencies, and I felt like I could cross over, but I said no. I don't know whether I freaked out, but I knew I couldn't or I didn't want to, because I have a family with 4 young children, and the thought came that even if I got there, the source will tell me to go back and fix up my obligations. So I said, please stop. I can't take it anymore, because the awareness, the increase, the peace, the oneness, the love, it was exponential. So I I put it on hold. And that sound was always there. And then for a short period, it disappeared, and I felt I lost it. I sort of I felt alone again. But it came back. Then I continued on my career, my life, my family. But that peace was there, and that E sound never left me. That's 30 years ago. So when I talk about the spirit, the God, the truth, I hear the sound. I'm hearing the sound in my head while I'm speaking to you all now. It just goes on anywhere. I go into a temple, it's there. Go to a church, a prayer place. When people are talking about God, it's there. And that's one of the reasons why I joined this group, because it keeps me coming back to that peace and the serenity. And it tells me there's something beyond, and that's the confidence. So I'm here because Sanjay, so I'll put it another way. I came to know the truth, but I never found a guru per se. And the journey was, I found peace and I stayed there. I got on in my career. I retired now, and I told myself I'd go back. When I got onto this group, I sort of know that Sanjay is speaking the truth. And then I read Ramana's work. He's speaking the truth as well. So there's no dissonance for me. There's no saying, is this true or is this real? It's a confirmation of what I already know. And I'm here because it's keeping me centered to the truth. Sanjay is saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm keeping it within myself. You know what I'm saying? Okay? But it is real. I know, it's not I believe.
Very, very true. Thank you, Shriji, because, this type of confirmation from the people, because I have spoken to most of the people who are here, and I know how deeply they are pure and spiritual, and they are there or almost there. There is only this difference. There is no other difference. They are in that, what they say, a lighter smoke now. So someone asked me recently that how many people are realized you have met. I said all are realized. They are just playing a joke. They are all there, they are all there. It's so beautiful, actually. Being in that purest of pure. Look, you can have a cup of coffee with anyone and you can talk about anything under the sun, or gossip about someone. But when you talk about that actually unfolds exponentially. This is what satsang is. You talk about the sat, truth, the truth unfolds in all of us and it becomes exponential because of this energy. I recently came back from India. I went to Kumbh, and my mother actually wanted to go to Kumbh. So 12 years ago, she booked everything, and then someone said, oh, it's so dangerous and so many people and you should not go. So this year, she wanted to go, and look, they are old, so she has no clue whether she will be alive after 12 years. And I said, okay, I'm coming. And then we three went. And what I have to tell you, one thing about Kumbh is that there are 500 million people have already been there. And in a one day, there can be 10 million, 20 million people there. This sheer number of people with only one intention to know that Supreme, with whole devotion. They are the poorest of poor and rich, and people living in tents, people living on the ghats, people just traveling 50k, 60k by foot, carrying little ones in their lap. All sorts of people are there. There are Naga sadhus, people coming from forest, Himalayas, coming from palaces, coming from overseas. And this whole gathering of humanity just having that holy dip. This energy, conglomerate of energy of that pure intention has created indescribable energy there. You go there, You don't wash your sins. You wash your mind, you wash your ego, you become that only, The holy dip in Ganges or in the Triveni Sangam where the three meets, it is symbolic and we all revere these rivers. But it is also the force of all these people on those auspicious times who are there, which is giving that energy. It is a satsang. It is a satsang going on for thousands of years and they come every 12 years, It's amazing, amazing power. I didn't do any ritual. I didn't do anything. I didn't meet anyone. I just went and we had a dip and just went there and came back. But what I'm saying is that we are all that. That is what the power of satsang is. This satsang, what we are doing. Everyone uplifts. If someone who is attending for a while and if they meet someone else outside, you can know the difference of understanding and openness and unfoldment. Sometimes some people join and they are new, and when they ask some questions, you can make out that how much understanding has to develop, to be in that silence. So we are fortunate. We all are fortunate. When I had this realization, I have to say I was a bit frustrated because I had no clue what it is all about, what it means. And I was looking for it, and then I found Ramana Maharshi's teachings maybe a couple of years after this unfoldment. And then people asked me, what would you do with this? As if it is something to gain money or something or useful of. Knowing it is its usefulness. Knowing it is the end game. Knowing it is liberation. Knowing it is immortality. These Maha Mantras, which we all know, and we know the meaning, but we had no clue what this means. Om Bhur Bhuva Sweta Savitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Parchodayat. Om Trembakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmi Bandhanat Mrityor Mokshi Amamritat. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havi Brahmogno Brahmautam Brahmotev Gantavyam Brahma Karm Samadhina. We all repeat them, but the real meaning I understood only on knowing it. That it is all Brahman. And that Mahamrityunjay mantra which takes you beyond your death is that only. Knowing that. Nothing else. But when you don't know, you are not into spirituality, you think you say 108 times Mahamrityunjay mantra and then you will not die. What a foolishness. Every body which is born will die. But understanding the meaning and contemplating on it will make you immortal. These things, these people, yogis, these saints have found out so long ago. And actually what Shriji is saying, this is what it is, You get something in you and to clarify things within you, you go through, you talk to someone, you read scriptures, you read Bhagavan, and it assures you that this is what it is. And that is what it's all about. There's nothing, you're not going to get any Bharat Ratna or Order of Australia medal for it. It is a medal in itself. This knowing self is that achievement or knowledge or truth. There's nothing else in this life. We all have our professions, we have done it, we are doing it. That is all okay. That is all our prarabdha karma. But knowing this is not in the script. It only happens with kripa, with grace of that. I'm not saying that you have done good works, that's why that kripa has, I have no clue. I can't say why kripa comes on some and not on others. I would say maybe your interest was there at some stage in your life, this life or previous life. That's why it has come to you. Bhagavan always used to say there must be something, some hard work, some efforts at some time, which has paid dividends now. Even listening to these things, even interest in these things, Organized religion, almost every person who believes in God or believe in religion has. But that is nothing about knowing it. It has nothing to do with religion, any religion. Religion gives us a sense of security, a false sense of security. So we don't put any efforts to know it. But once known what religion you belong, you will be ashamed to say, I belong to this religion. Because you don't belong to anything, you are nothing. You have no religion. No organization, no body, nothing. There's nothing there. Be in that pure energy all the time. It is a different type of addiction. Raj, I would say better than any other addiction. Just get completely into it and let yourself be in it. Don't stop yourself from not be like nothing to hold. What to hold? What will you hold and keep? One day this body will die. Everyone, all these images we are together, no one will be alive in next, I don't know, let's say 100 years if someone is born yesterday. All will disappear. All images will disappear. Only utility, the right thing you can do with this body is to know that Brahman. That's all. I think Steve wants to say something. Steve, nice to see you. You have to unmute yourself. Can you?
Okay. Okay, I think I am now. Well, thank you. Good to see you. I was going to go to India, by the way, except I got the message about it's full and there's a waiting list, so I decided not to and let some other person who's not been go since I went last year. So I was surprised to see that the waiting list went away or something, but I'm sort of locked into something else. So that's sort of disappointing. But anyway, I'd like to know what I think. You talk about the importance of being devoted to the path. Letting go of all the things that don't matter. Like in 100 years, none of it's going to matter. It's like the guy who says, "I wish I'd spent more time at the office" as he's dying. It never happens. So when I put all your energies as much as you can into the one thing that matters, so makes sense. And part of doing that, I think, is what you're doing today. You do it all the time, but especially today, which is inviting and then giving your spill on different questions that people have. Because that's another thing. You say, well, doubt. As long as you have doubts, there'll be part of you holding back. Okay, makes sense. Makes perfect sense. It can be, that applies to everything. If you doubt your spouse's love or whatever, it's super important. But my question is there a time or a place or a stage or something in which you stop asking the questions, which can go on endlessly? You stop trying to remove doubt. You just stop. And I can tell you where where this question is coming from or whatever. But I'm going to make it simple and easy and just put it to you that way and see what you say. So if you don't understand the question, go ahead and ask, but I'm going to throw it out there like that and see what happens. Did you catch that?
So what is your question?
Is there a stage or a time or a place in which doing the things that you invite us to do, ask questions, act in a way to remove doubt, is not important? If it's got to be a question, let that be the question. You understand? You still don't get it? Or I can make it even simpler, but...
Yeah, can you make it more simpler?
Yeah. I don't think Ramana Maharshi spent a lot of time working on doubts, for example. Is there a time or a place or circumstances in which a person, a seeker like us, we cease to concern ourselves with our doubts?
Look, the thing is that
Or not?
I have to say one thing, and very clearly and openly. This group online of around 50 people, how many ask questions and how many times? Hardly anyone. This itself shows that there are no doubts. We are only gathering to be abiding in that self together, respecting it, loving it, and we are already devoted to it. So hardly any doubts, hardly any Q&As. Raj texted me and he wanted to talk, and I was busy with patients, and I knew that there was a satsang, so he will come, and that's why I asked him. But it is like, you can say a doubt, but I can see it is just a very disturbed mind which can happen in a seeker. But I don't think he also has a doubt in that sense. So doubts are not there actually. I have realized that in this group, people are so mature and ripe that there are not actually doubts. That's why we don't have many questions. People are not talking stupid questions and what happened, my wife is left and my lover is this and I've lost a job and all sorts of things, those sorts of questions, or even what is God and what are the different types of words and all this. No one is interested in these things, no one is interested. So my answer to your question is, I think we are already abiding in silence, profound silence. And someone who comes with a doubt, I think their doubts just get swept away in the satsang. This is what I would say.
Why are they here then?
Sorry?
There's started out when people would come, they'd talk like that, and he'd say, well, why are you here? Just what's the point? And if you have no doubts, if you're sold out, if you're one of the 10 million that's made the final decision that this is the only thing that matters, why go places and do things and ask questions, or including being on satsang? If you have if you're impartial, you say, well, I enjoy it. Well, we're going beyond enjoyment, like you said earlier. I have all kinds of questions and stuff. Every time we have this, I have questions, but I don't want to get the feeling that the culture of, like the guy who was telling you what to do and how to run it is such that I don't like to be, like if you say something like, for example, to begin with, to Raj, well, Raj, as long as you identify with a body, you still haven't taken the first step. So I think, well, gee, I thought that would be towards the end. The first step's meditation, whatever, but that's the first one. But I just don't, what I try to do is to ignore the doubts. That's what I'm saying. Don't ask the questions. So it doesn't matter. It's just for mental entertainment. And just say, well, I'll never know what he means exactly by that. But, I don't really need to know. So that's my question. My answer to my question: just ignore doubts, ignore those things, and I had in Alcoholics Anonymous, I had a person come and they had all these questions and doubts and stuff, and they said once they're satisfied, then they're going to give themselves over to AA, and they're still drunk. 10 years later, this other person comes and I ask about that doubts, and they say, "Oh, I got all kinds of doubts." But what they did is they just went to AA over and over and over. And that's how they dealt with the doubts, by ignoring them. And then later I said, "Well, what are your doubts now? What are your questions?" "I don't have any." But he got to that place by ignoring them rather than bowing down to the mind and saying, "Oh, I need to have my doubts and questions answered."
But
So, to me, that sounds legitimate.
But Steve, I have to say one thing, and I have realized it so many times. When people have a doubt, they have a question, that is a chance for them to speak to the silence from which I can share something. It is just an opportunity. This is also grace. We should not take it as light. I take it very seriously. I take it as if this is an invite for me to interact in the best possible way that this energy wants to interact. And so I don't think I can answer like that, what you are saying, that ignore doubts and all. Let's meet. This is how do you meet people? How do people meet each other? They meet in bars, they meet in pubs, they meet in cafe, We are meeting here. If there is no doubt, we will never meet here. This is so that Paramatman, that Absolute, has given an opportunity to start something, so we can be on a platform which we are sharing to only praise the Lord. Nothing wrong with the doubts also. Doubts are also for Him. At least in the form of doubt, we are remembering Him only, nothing else. How beautiful it is. I take it as very beautiful. Yesterday I was at hospital, and there was a new nurse and a new fellow, and they were talking about something, and I don't know. I don't tell. Nobody knows what I do, these things, and there's nothing to talk about. And then she said that she tries meditation and never works. And she was just telling us out of the blue. And then I said that maybe you can try something like just observing things and all. And she said, "Can you teach me?" And she was very desperate. And I said, "Okay, maybe not here," because few of us were there. And we just went on the next table. She sat, and she was in her bliss. And I have to say, I couldn't believe that this has happened. So this was just an excuse that she has to say, we have to sit, and it all worked out for her. Someone who is just creating a doubt about something, and I have no idea. You never know how the opening comes in someone's life. We never know. So we should not play down any doubts or any person or any situation, that this is not the right time, this is not the satsang time, and this question is not appropriate. Leave that for all that which has decided through our minds to act in a way. If they have brought us here, it will make sure that all of us get realization of self in our own way, and give respect to that, give that open platform for it to happen. So this is what my take on it is. I can't say anything about anyone. Nobody can say. So how it happens, how, nobody knows. We should only respect it and try to allow that silence to express itself in the best possible way, so everyone can taste it. So thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone. I think we have gone a bit longer today, but I loved it. Thank you so much. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.